Tylko jedno w głowie mam, koksu 5 gram, odlecieć sam.
Poland. What a beautiful country. Never has it run into any conflicts or confrontations. It's always been like this. It's always just been beautiful and peaceful. Some of the highest quality of life in all of Europe. Nothing has ever gone wrong here. It's just been perfect. Everything is fine. Who would ever want to invade such a beautiful place? No one's ever invaded Poland. It's just so nice here. It's always been great. Always. In ancient times, Poland was inhabited by Celts, Scythians, and Germanic clans. Making use of the fertile soil, the Metholithic peoples of Poland began practicing agriculture much sooner than the people of the more barren areas around them. The Lusatian culture was one of the most influential of early Poland and spanned through the entirety of the Bronze and Iron Ages. Later, after the Iron Age, the Celts of the Latin culture decided to settle in the fields of Poland because they thought they looked nice. I actually don't know why they stayed here, but I guess the Germanic peoples agreed with them because they started to migrate there as well. However, by 500 AD, most of the Germanic clans migrated back out of Poland, leaving the land unoccupied for a time. Soon after that migration, the Balts decided that they would take over the land since nobody else wanted it. Then, in the 10th century, Poland was established as a state by the Piast dynasty. The state began with Duke Mieszko I, who ruled until 992 AD. He converted to Christianity in 966. This is called the Baptism of Poland. Mieszko's son, Duke Boleslaw the Brave, established a Polish church structure to expand the territory with the power of Jesus, and worship, and prayer, and forceful religious assimilation via brainwashing. Boleslaw was the first to be crowned King of Poland in 1025. He fought numerous wars with Germany throughout his rule because why not? As a result, his reign over the kingdom overly stretched its resources and caused a complete collapse of the monarchy. Then Casimir I the Restorer came along and revived the monarchy. Boleslaw II and Boleslaw III continued down two very different paths, the former focusing on evangelization, while the latter focused on military might. Then Boleslaw III split the kingdom between his three sons, in the Testament of 1138 resulting in yet another downfall of the monarchy. So then these guys called the Teutonic Knights came along, and they were like, Jesus is poggers, and Poland was like, shut up. So they ended up fighting about it in this big battle called the Battle of Grunwald, where Polish people were like, we want religious freedom, and Jesus is oppressive, we should not have to believe in Jesus. And then the Teutonic Knight guys, they were like, no, it's okay guys, it's awesome, it's poggers, trust us. And then there was a decisive victory for the Poles, and Jesus was absolutely annihilated. This was followed by the Union of Horodlo, which strengthened the friendship between Poland and Lithuania. At this point, they were very close to starting a Minecraft SMP together. During this time, the religious tolerance of Poland made it a safe haven that was responsible for the population boom that occurred. And then everything was genuinely super chill for a few hundred years. Poland started a podcast where they talked about NFTs while smoking weed, and there were no serious problems. It looked like nothing could go wrong here. The situation was literally perfect, and Poland wasn't hostile to anyone. Yeah, so World War I was not good for Poland. Although they technically weren't considered an official state between 1914 and 1918, they still faced massive human and material losses. But then World War I ended, and everybody was happy, and they all blamed it on Germany. Because what could go wrong with that? And then, a few years later, I think we all know what happened. But even after all that, Poland recovered. It has one of the highest quality of life rankings in all of Europe and has led the curve on things like COVID-19 and other worldwide problems. It's also been one of the most productive countries for combating climate change and has greatly helped in many major political conventions of the modern age. Sure, it's been invaded a lot, but it's still here today, breaking records and setting standards for all of society. But even after all that, we can still agree that the best thing produced by Poland is
Tylko jedno w głowie mam, koksu 5 gram, odlecieć sam w krainę zapomnienia. W głowie myśli mam, kiedy skończyć.
In Polish mythology, Latawiec is a mythical creature that is presented as an evil serpent who lives in the deep forest and lurks over attractive young men and women. In Polish villages, people would scare the young kids with the story of Latawiec that would seduce and eat them alive.